Ladies and gentlemen, what if I told you that just 3 simple phrases could make a man stop in his tracks, fall deeper for you, and even start thinking about a future together without you chasing, pleading, or trying to change him? Today, I'm revealing the exact words that trigger his desire, melt his resistance, and make him emotionally invest in you. Phrases so powerful that most women don't even realize exist. If you want him to see you differently, think about you constantly and step up like never before. You need to hear this. A man doesn't melt because a woman pours compliments on him. He melts because she notices the parts of him he isn't used to having acknowledged. Most people see men as what they do, not who they try to be. They see his results, his achievements, or his external confidence, but rarely the effort underneath. When a woman communicates that she sees the intention behind his actions, that's when something shifts inside him. It hits a deeper emotional layer, one that most men never admit exists. Men crave being understood just as much as women do, but they're conditioned to hide that desire. So when a woman speaks to the part of him that no one else sees, it becomes magnetic. It makes him look at her differently, listen differently, and show up differently because it feels like she sees the man he wants to be, not just the man he is in the moment. When you recognize the essence of who he is, it doesn't just boost his ego, it anchors his identity. A man will fight for the relationship where he feels like his best self. The mistake many women make is thinking that powerful phrases need to be poetic or dramatic. But the truth is, the most powerful phrases are simple and precise. They're grounded in observation. They say, "I see the intention behind what you do, and it means something to me." This moves a man because it affirms the part of him that often feels unseen. Men are rarely told that their thoughtfulness, their effort to show up, or their emotional risk-taking matters. When you show that you notice those things, you immediately stand out in his life without trying to impress him. You're not chasing him, you're witnessing him. There's a subtle but transformative difference between chasing and seeing. Chasing is about seeking validation from him. Seeing is about offering recognition without sacrificing your standards. When you see a man clearly, you don't give away power, it actually gives you more. Why? Because it shows you're operating from abundance, not desperation. You're not trying to win him, you're evaluating and appreciating the real qualities he offers. When a woman operates this way, her presence becomes soothing, grounding, and unforgettable. It calms a man's nervous system. It makes him relax around you in a way he doesn't with others. He stops performing. He stops strategizing. He stops hiding the deeper parts of himself. Instead, he becomes more genuine, more honest, more invested. That emotional shift is what makes a man melt. A man wants to feel admired, but he wants that admiration to be earned, not given freely. When you say something that reflects his character or effort, it tells him you have standards. You're not impressed by the superficial. You're impressed by how he shows up. That's rare, that's valuable. And that's what makes him want to keep showing up at that level because he feels that what he does for you matters. Your words become a mirror that reflects the best of who he wants to be, and people naturally gravitate toward the places where they feel like their best selves. That's why the right phrase said at the right moment can make a man lean in, open up, and invest more deeply in you. Men often walk around with invisible armor, trying to appear strong, capable, and unaffected. But underneath that armor, they have insecurities, doubts, and fears about not being enough, just like anyone else. When you see through the armor, not in a way that exposes him, but in a way that affirms him, something powerful happens. He doesn't feel judged. He doesn't feel pressured. Instead, he feels appreciated. And appreciation is the emotional bridge that allows attraction to turn into connection and connection to turn into desire. Men may not verbalize this, but they feel it deeply. The woman who makes him feel emotionally seen becomes the woman he thinks about when he wakes up, when he goes to sleep, and in the quiet moments of his day. It's important to understand that this isn't about praising toxic behavior or rewarding bare minimum effort. It's about acknowledging genuine character-based actions that align with your values. When he shows patience, when he takes responsibility, when he communicates openly, when he listens deeply, when he tries even in small ways, that's what you highlight. Those moments become emotional anchors for him. He starts associating his most admirable traits with being around you. He feels like a better man in your presence, not because you fix him or flatter him, but because you reflect the parts of him he's proud of. That's the quiet power women often underestimate. Seeing a man doesn't mean losing yourself in him. It means staying rooted in who you are while tuning into who he is. It's about holding space for his effort while still holding your boundaries. Many women fear giving recognition because they think it looks like neediness. But true recognition, when it comes from confidence, is the opposite of needy. Neediness says, I'll praise you so you choose me. Confidence says, I appreciate this because it's genuinely valuable, whether you stay or not. That energy is irresistible. It's the energy of someone who knows her worth and can see the worth in others without losing her center. When a man experiences that balance, admiration without attachment, recognition without pressure, he begins to respect you deeply. Respect is what creates long-term attraction. Men attach to women they respect, and they respect women who can see them clearly while still maintaining high standards. When he knows you're not easily impressed, your appreciation becomes meaningful. When he knows you're not trying to win him, your praise becomes powerful. When he knows you're not chasing him, your presence becomes grounding. This is why seeing a man, noticing his intention, his effort, his emotional growth, is one of the most potent ways to melt him without performing, pretending, or overgiving. The right phrase becomes a moment where he feels recognized in a way that's rare. It softens him, it opens him, it inspires him, and it draws him toward you, not because you're trying to attract him, but because he feels a version of himself around you that he loves. A man may be physically attracted to you. He may enjoy your company. He may even admire your strength and confidence. But he only falls when he feels emotionally safe with you. Emotional safety isn't about being perfect or agreeable. It's about creating a space where he feels he can show up as a human being rather than a performance. Most men don't walk around feeling understood. They walk around feeling judged, expected to be strong all the time, and terrified of failing in front of the woman they care about. When you offer words that signal empathy instead of pressure, acceptance instead of criticism, presence instead of interrogation, you unlock a part of him he rarely lets people see. That part is where attachment grows. That part is where he chooses you, not out of convenience, but out of emotional trust. Men often grow up hearing that vulnerability equals weakness. They're taught to man up, to solve their own problems, to keep their emotions in check. So even when he likes you, he's cautious. He's slow to reveal himself because he doesn't want to be embarrassed, misunderstood, or dismissed. Emotional safety is the antidote to that fear. When your words tell him, you can talk to me and I'm not going to weaponize it or judge you for it, he begins to relax. That relaxation is the beginning of emotional desire. Attraction might spark his interest, but emotional safety pulls him into commitment. It's the difference between someone he enjoys spending time with and someone he starts imagining a future with. The right phrase at the right moment can dismantle a wall he's carried for years. Men don't need someone to fix them. They need someone who hears them. When you communicate, I get why that would feel tough, or it makes sense that you felt that way. You give him a rare experience, validation. Men hardly ever get this. They're expected to be logical, unemotional, and unaffected. But when you validate his feelings, you acknowledge his humanity. You show him that he doesn't need to be perfect around you. He doesn't need to pretend. He doesn't need to keep everything inside. That creates a powerful emotional bond. This isn't about letting him get away with bad behavior or accepting less than you deserve. Emotional safety does not mean being a doormat. It means being a place where honesty is met with presence. You can have standards and still be understanding. You can have boundaries and still be empathetic. In fact, empathy without boundaries becomes self-abandonment, and boundaries without empathy become coldness. Emotional safety is the sweet spot where your warmth meets your strength. Men fall for the woman who makes them feel free to express themselves without feeling like they're losing their masculinity or their value. Many women believe that emotional safety means being non-confrontational or overly agreeable, but real emotional safety is rooted in connection, not compliance. You don't create safety by avoiding difficult topics, you create it by handling them with grace. Instead of attacking, you explore. Instead of accusing, you ask. Instead of assuming, you communicate. When a man feels that he can bring his truth to you and you will respond with curiosity rather than criticism, he begins to trust you deeply. That trust is not built in dramatic moments. It's built in the small interactions where he feels heard, respected, and valued. Men crave appreciation more than praise. Appreciation acknowledges effort, not outcome. When you say something like, "I really appreciate how hard you're trying," it lands differently. It doesn't pressure him to be perfect. It acknowledges his effort. This reduces his fear of failing in front of you. Failure is one of the biggest fears men carry in relationships. Not failure in life, but failure in your eyes. If he feels like one mistake will make you see him as less of a man, he will pull back. But if he feels like you're someone who sees beyond the moment, who sees intention even when the execution isn't flawless, he feels emotionally safe. And when a man feels safe, he invests. Emotional safety also means emotional predictability. A man falls for the woman whose emotional energy feels stable, not chaotic. This doesn't mean you can't have feelings. It means your feelings aren't weaponized. When you respond rather than react, when you express rather than explode, he feels like he can open up without fearing a sudden emotional storm. That doesn't mean you hide your emotions. It means you communicate them in a way that builds connection instead of creating distance. The more predictable your emotional responses are, the more comfortable he feels leaning into you. There is also safety in allowing him to be masculine without making him feel controlled or micromanaged. Men feel emotionally safe when they're allowed to contribute without being criticized at every turn, when they're free to take the lead in the areas where they naturally thrive, and when their efforts are acknowledged rather than corrected. This doesn't mean you let him dominate or decide everything. It means you give him space to be who he is while staying rooted in who you are. When he feels like he can be strong without being shut down and vulnerable without being judged, that balance makes him feel deeply connected. One of the most powerful ways to create emotional safety is through curiosity. When a man shares something, whether it's a frustration, a dream, or a fear, responding with genuine curiosity makes him feel valued. Curiosity says, "I want to understand you." Understanding says, "I accept the truth of your experience." Acceptance says, "You can be real with me." And that's what men crave far more than perfection or performance. Curiosity creates a connection that doesn't feel forced or strategic. It feels natural. It invites him closer. When you combine curiosity with reassurance, it becomes even more powerful. Reassurance doesn't mean fixing him or solving his problems. It means reminding him that he's allowed to be imperfect, that he's still valued, that he's still respected. Men rarely hear this, which is why it hits so deeply. If you become the person who makes him feel both supported and inspired, you become someone he emotionally depends on, not out of weakness, but out of trust. And when a man trusts you emotionally, he invests in you romantically. He prioritizes you. He shares more. He shows more. He plans more. He commits. Emotional safety is the foundation of the deeper attraction that most women are truly looking for, where a man isn't just interested, but emotionally attached, where he isn't just chasing, but choosing, where he isn't just showing up, but staying. The right phrase, delivered with the right energy, can make him feel like he's finally found someone he can be real with. And once he feels that with you, he won't want to lose it. A man doesn't commit because he's given everything up front. He commits because he feels he's earning something meaningful. When your words acknowledge his effort, not in a way that inflates his ego, but in a way that connects his behavior to the kind of relationship you desire, you activate a powerful internal shift. Men are wired to rise for what they value. They step into responsibility when they feel their effort is noticed and reciprocated with admiration that isn't cheap. Admiration becomes powerful when it's tied to standards. It tells him, "This is the kind of man I appreciate, and when you show up that way, it means something to me." That dynamic builds desire and commitment because it makes him feel responsible for maintaining the connection. Most men are surrounded by praise that doesn't mean anything. They hear "good job," "you're amazing," or "you're handsome" from people who barely know them. But when you tie your appreciation to something deeper, his integrity, consistency, leadership, or honesty, it hits differently. It reaches the part of him that wants to be a better man, the part that wants to protect, provide, and show up with intention. When your words reward those qualities, he begins to see you as a partner who brings out his strength, rather than someone who expects perfection without acknowledgement. Men commit not when they feel needed, but when they feel valued for the right reasons. A man wants to feel that the more he shows up, the more he earns access to your softness, your vulnerability, your appreciation, and your emotional intimacy. That dynamic fuels attraction. It makes him invest more effort, take more initiative, and stay consistent. When he feels that your admiration is something he earns through genuine character, He becomes intentional. He starts thinking long-term. He begins to connect his actions with your reactions, realizing that the right behavior leads to a deeper connection with you. Many women give admiration too easily, thinking it will make a man feel loved. But admiration without standards doesn't create commitment, it creates complacency. If he gets all the emotional benefits without effort, his motivation drops. But when your words reflect that you appreciate specific behaviors that align with your values, you teach him how to love you better. You're not training him like a child, you're inspiring him like a partner. You're showing him what matters to you, and men respond powerfully to clarity. They want to win, they want to succeed, they want to feel that their actions have meaning. There is a subtle art in letting a man earn your admiration without making him feel like he's being tested. The key is focusing on positive reinforcement rather than criticism. When he does something aligned with the relationship you want, communicates clearly, shows thoughtfulness, takes initiative, you acknowledge it. Not with over-the-top flattery, but with grounded appreciation that says, I noticed and I value that. Men rarely get this kind of recognition. Most of their effort goes unacknowledged, so when you provide it, you stand out. You become the person who sees his effort. That visibility motivates him to keep showing up. This kind of admiration also creates accountability without conflict. Instead of nagging him to do better, your appreciative responses encourage him to repeat the behavior. Positive reinforcement builds momentum. The more he feels his effort matters, the more effort he gives. This dynamic transforms how he sees you. You're no longer just someone he's dating. You become someone he feels inspired to protect, prioritize, and invest in. You become the person who brings out the best version of him. There's also a deep psychological effect when a man feels he's earning your admiration. He becomes more emotionally bonded to you. Human beings value what they invest in. When he puts in effort and sees the emotional return from you, your warmth, your admiration, your presence, he forms a deeper attachment. Not because you demanded it, but because he experienced the reward of showing up. This is how healthy commitment forms, not through pressure, persuasion, or emotional dependency, but through mutual contribution and acknowledgement. For admiration to create commitment, it must be authentic. Men can feel when praise is forced or manipulative. If your words aren't rooted in genuine appreciation, they won't land. Authentic admiration grows when you pay attention to details instead of expectations. You notice how he tries, not just what he achieves. You notice the sincerity in his effort, not the perfection of his delivery. That level of attention makes him feel emotionally chosen. And when a man feels chosen for who he truly is, he naturally wants to choose you right back. At the same time, maintaining strong personal standards is what makes your admiration valuable. A man respects admiration that comes from a woman who respects herself. When you communicate your needs clearly, hold your boundaries, and remain consistent in your values, your appreciation becomes meaningful. He knows it's not something you give to everyone. He knows you're not impressed by superficial gestures. He knows your admiration is tied to real character. That makes him want to step up, not to gain power over you, but to meet you where you are. Standards do not push a good man away. They guide him. They show him what matters to you. They show him how to contribute. They show him how to succeed with you. A high-value man doesn't fear standards. He's attracted to them because they give him direction. When your admiration is reserved for behavior that aligns with those standards, you create a relationship, dynamic, based on mutual growth, rather than chasing or settling. One of the most powerful ways you can inspire commitment is by showing appreciation for acts that require emotional effort from him. When he opens up, takes responsibility for something difficult, apologizes sincerely, or communicates honestly, acknowledging those moments deepens your connection. Men rarely get praise for emotional maturity, yet it's one of the hardest things for them to practice. When your words reflect that you value his emotional effort, not just his physical or financial contributions, he feels seen in a profound way. That kind of recognition bonds him to you deeply. This dynamic also helps him feel safe to be imperfect. When he knows his effort is appreciated, even when it's not flawless, he relaxes. A relaxed man is a more loving man. He's less defensive, more expressive, and more consistent. He feels like he can grow with you instead of being evaluated by you. Growth fosters commitment because it creates partnership rather than performance. Over time, as he continues to earn your admiration, he becomes emotionally invested in maintaining the relationship. He's no longer chasing a feeling, he's building a connection. He begins to see commitment as a privilege, not a burden. He starts prioritizing your needs. He protects the bond you share. He becomes more thoughtful, more intentional, more present, all because he feels that being with you makes him a better man and that his efforts bring him closer to a fulfilling relationship with you. A man falls in love through admiration, but he commits through contribution. When your words highlight the connection between his effort and the relationship he's building with you, he feels both inspired and responsible. He becomes the man who wants to show up, not because you demand it, but because he feels proud of who he is with you.